I'm doing another check-in video, another kind of mini reading vlog. I'm still reading Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'm now 62% in, and I'm conflicted in how I feel about this book in comparison to her other one that I've read, People We Meet on Vacation. I think Emily does a really great job with writing chemistry. She does a really amazing job with making you really feel what the characters are going through. And she subverts a lot of tropes and really makes things definitely a lot more interesting with more depth. Beach Read actually tackles quite a bit of serious topics, serious intertwining subject matter like abuse, which is something I really didn't think that I would be getting into. Infidelity, you know, self-worth or lack thereof. I mentioned in my previous little mini vlog, if you will, that this book actually does mention cults, and there's a particular character that we're introduced to at the halfway point of this book where Gus, actually, the male romantic lead, ends up arranging for an interview, and this particular character speaks about his experience in the compound and some of the abuse that he had suffered while in this in this cult. And there's like a follow-up interview with this character after the fact, and the lead characters end up speaking with the mother of this son that was in the compound, and she gave a lot more gray of a response, saying that, you know, good people will sometimes end up doing really bad things, and we shouldn't just vilify everyone without actually looking into the greater context, and that there might be some misunderstandings in the interpretation of what my son has told you guys in this interview, which I thought was really interesting. And there's a lot more that's revealed about both these characters, and I just, I just find it really interesting, just taking it all in. I don't know how and I feel necessarily about it, but I'm still really intrigued and fascinated. And I'm still really fascinated by the two main characters' chemistry. The romance is really slow burn, yet not. Like they keep getting conveniently interrupted before things get really intimate. Yeah, they've shared enough intimacy through actually revealing each other's wounds, some of the past traumas that they dealt with, what they're currently dealing with. And their relationship just seems really vibrant and painful yet real. Like they both have a lot of skeletons in their closets. They've both dealt with a lot of grief and trauma, and they kind of hid behind that through humor and being sarcastic and having this witty repartee. But yet, once they actually start talking to one another and actually start opening up and trusting one another to really reveal what they're going through, it actually makes for a really interesting and very well layered romance. Yet, you know, I'm someone that when I'm reading a romance novel, especially one that has like an illustrated cover, you kind of go into it with a certain expectation that it'll be a lot lighter and fluffier in tone. Like you kind of mentally prepare yourself for different type of books you read. Like if I'm reading like a horror novel, which I typically don't read, or like a thriller, or just something in the general fiction category, you kind of go into the book with a certain mindset. And I'll be honest, even with the reviews ahead of time saying that some of the themes in the book would be darker than one would expect from a book that's titled Beach Read, I'm still kind of taken aback by just just by how much layers this relationship between these two main characters have. But that's still not to say that romance doesn't come with layers. Again, I've read a lot of romances in my time, and I do know that there are romance novels that will touch upon subject matter that's a little bit more darker in tone, and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, I'm going to reiterate that romance does not get its due, and it is not an easy genre to write for, and it takes a lot to make a compelling romance stick and actually have it make sense, and for a reader to be engaged enough to actually want to root for the two characters. And I think it's especially impressive when you can still make it possible that you still have hope for the two characters, and with a happy ending or a happily in this moment ending versus a happily ever after, but a happily right now, make it believable and not make it completely cringeworthy. That it's just a lot to do, and I have a lot of respect for romance authors and ones that just continually make amazing, well-rounded stories with fully 3D fleshed out characters, and giving them drive and passion, and making them seem like self-actualized real people. I think it takes a lot of craftsmanship to do that. But that still doesn't take away that I'm just really taken aback by the darker themes of Beach Read. So I just gave you a long word salad. But I'm still reading it. I'm at 62%. And most likely towards the weekend or so, I'll give you a final review. So that is my check-in for tonight. I hope you had an amazing day. And I hope you're having a really good night. And I'll see you in the next video, which might be an art upload. Who knows? I might surprise you and do something real fancy. Till then, peace.